Greetings gamers, I'm your Cyber Games mentor, reviewing various games that are available on your Android or other mobile device. We'll be looking at action games, strategy games, and everything in between. So sit back and relax and enjoy the review. Today we're playing on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Plus. Now this tablet has a 12.4-inch Quad HD screen. The processor is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 with 8 GB of RAM, 256 GB of storage. The battery is a 10,900 mAh battery, and it was released in 2022. Greetings gamers, it's your Cyber Games mentor with another review, and today we're looking at Dynasty Warriors Overlords by Supernova Game. It's rated T for teen. Now, if you're not familiar with Dynasty Warriors, it's a fairly old franchise. It started in 1997. It's on the old consoles and the PlayStation, it was a hack and slash fighting beat 'em up action role-playing game that takes place, or is a video game representation of the Three Kingdoms period of Chinese history. And it's a period in which there were many wars and battles between three kingdoms within China. It's considered one of the bloodiest periods in Chinese history. But that's not important. No, it's kind of important. It dictates what happens in the game, and it dictates, how you interact and what happens. Now, with Dynasty Warriors Overlord, it's very similar to those old games that we first started playing, in 1997, where you control your character and you can perform all these crazy combos, and you're one person who fights like an army. It's really cool. It's a simple kind of layout or simple controls where you have strong attack keys, special moves, and you can perform combos. If you can get your controller to work, I would suggest doing that, but I really couldn't, so I just had to use my use touchscreen controls, and they were. Now, it was easy to pull off combos using touchscreen controls. Sometimes with video games on mobile video games, the touch controls just aren't good, honestly. But this one, they really are. I like them. They work well. So, as you go through the game, you encounter bosses where you have to employ your super skill set of combos and stuff, and fight them. And it's fairly spectacular. The special moves, the weapons, I like that. It's fun. The characters, and there are tons of characters, hundreds of characters, unique characters with voice lines that are going to show up throughout the game, whether they be enemies, whether they be generals that you unlock, that kind of thing. And it's all just high quality, very well done. And they're all unique. Now, I can't comment on the accuracy from the Three Kingdoms period of Chinese history and how accurate that is, because I doubt that it is. But all of the characters depicted are unique and they are interesting, and it's just well done in this regard. Because sometimes you have games that have multiple characters, and they're just generic. They have a lot of characters and they're all just generic copies. Maybe a different nose or different eyes, but basically the same character. That doesn't really happen in Dynasty Warriors Overlords. So I think that most players are going to enjoy that. The graphics of this game, I would give a solid 8. There were some times when the camera didn't cooperate like I thought it should, and where I could not see the enemies on screen quite good enough. I mean, it's fine, and that happens sometimes in third-person games. But sometime that happened in the game and I didn't like it, and it's gonna come up as you play. But it doesn't happen that often, and I think it'll be all right for most games out there. Now, what you really and there are so many, the variety of enemies that you come into contact with, the bosses you come into contact with is super great. And as you go through and fight the enemies and defeat bosses, you also have to manage your town, you take on different roles, build up villages and things like that, hire people, do all that kind of stuff. So there's that aspect to the game as well, which is, I didn't like that much. I like the action part, the fighting part. That's where I was really having a good time playing this. You know, it's ultimately a simple game, but it's so fun, and I think that you'll enjoy it. Now, as far as the sound of the game, I liked that they had so many voiced roles. They were all in. They weren't in English. I want to say they were in Chinese. I don't speak that language, so I'm not sure. I can't verify the accuracy, but you know, a lot of the lines were voiced and they had subtitles, which was great to me. It reminded me of watching dubbed movies in the martial arts action period dramas, like Red Cliff or something like that. That's what it reminded me of, and I thought that was really cool. And I'm not going to tell you the voice acting is amazing or anything. I'm telling you that it was very adequate and borderline good, but not quite. No, but it's there, and I liked that. So if you're playing and if you have headphones, I would suggest you use those so you really get the feel of the game. It's just going to add to that role-playing aspect, add to the immersion, add to the engagement in the game when you have good sound. Not every game has great sound, but this one does. And as you go through, I think it's just fun. I think overall that I would give this game an 8.8 out of 10. The reason it's not getting a higher score is not everyone is going to like this gameplay style. Though Dynasty Warriors as a franchise has been along for a long time, they don't change much about that style of gameplay, and not everybody likes it. And it can get old after a while, honestly, because you repeat, the game loop is consistent, and it's going to repeat over and over. So it's going to get old for some players, but until it does, I think you're going to have a great time. That's why I'm giving Dynasty Warriors Overlord an 8.8 out of 10. Thank you, gaming hobbyist and enthusiast, for watching this review. Please follow us on social media so you can see when we have reviews available. And also, if you'll be so kind as to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, Cyber Games Mentor thanks you and appreciates you, and I hope you have a gamerific day.